Hey guys, it's Matt. You don't have to watch this as a video. I am going to show a lot of different things, but you don't have to. It's better though if you can watch this as a video. So the premise here is the entire reality is artificially designed and engineered and jury-rigged from the outside. The entire reality is engineered from the outside. And I'm going to use this video I've been fixated on that James sent over to me, a music video from the band Delta Heavy called Ghost. I can't play it. I mean, if I play a few seconds, it would jeopardize the video. I will pause though in about 10 minutes and say, if you can go over now and check the video out, here's the time to do it. But please give me perhaps up to 10 minutes on the front end to explain what this is all about and where I'm going with this and how I'm building this case. And if anybody's screaming out, in the night saying, well, how's that different than what you've been presenting? It is different because, okay, I talk about a lot about reality breakdowns. You look at a certain event like the submission of the 7-Eleven job application, and you say there's no possible way there can only be 14 videos. Whether you are a P or no P person, it doesn't matter. There still should be hundreds and hundreds of something happening to the top of the second tower. Okay, so it's still a reality breakdown. You've heard me talk about these things many, many times. Then I say the minions or whatever the creep class here has reality buttons and levers. That's it's still wading into the bog very, very slowly. So I was thinking about the first rule of truth. And if you say this element is completely fake inside this event, so the first rule of truth kind of says, well, then why look at it anymore? The whole thing's fake. You know, a certain condominium unit in in um in Miami. Once you look at it for 5 minutes and something is, whether it be the event itself or one of the eyewitnesses, and just says bull crap. So I'm not going to look at it anymore. I'm just going to go the whole way. And I'm going to do. Why are we doing this? Or I'm doing it again with the reality itself. Why am I wading into the bog slowly, talking about reality buttons and levers and fluid reality? No, it's all engineered and crafted. Anything that's outside of your reality or your immediate reality bubble. I don't If you're hugging a tree, I don't think that's fake and crafted and engineered by some nefarious force from the outside. Anything that comes through culture, the screen itself, the IMAX that's around us, culture, society, um, media. I mean, everything we call the screen, which is basically to me at this point anything outside your immediate reality bubble. All right, which is the like the operating system of this computer program. So it is. I'm going the whole way. I'm doing the first rule of truth. I'm saying, well, I'm going to stop talking about this. I would make a presentation or a video and say the world isn't very real. Well, that's kind of like putting one toe in the water. No, it's not real. It's all engineered and crafted and artificially jury rigged from the outside. This even more so supports my opinion that these people aren't in on it. If it's engineered from the outside, there's just no, they're not in on it at all. They're doing exactly what the reality wants, without even being aware how they're being used. So let me tell you how I got here, guys, and I'm going to move off. I will come back to this video in a minute, talk about it for a few minutes, and then ask you to watch it if you can. But let me just, if I'm not being clear, let me go over to this example because this is a great, great example, and I presented this years ago. I'm going to hit play here. If you're not watching and just listening, it's just going to be a video of somebody filming the inside of this mega mall down the road called the King of Prussia, Pennsylvania Mall. There's actually a city, I don't know, like 20,000 residents. It's not a city, a large town called King of Prussia, about 20 minutes from where I am. That's actually where I grew up. It's just somebody filming around the mall, so you don't need to see it. So I'm gonna hit play on this. And I presented this guys years ago where all these different shops in Jones, New York, and maybe not, Starbucks might have an individual backstory, but all of these clothiers and the Limited, and here's Banana Republic. And I said this years ago, you get the sense that if you could kind of follow the tributaries of the river, follow them all back, it kind of probably all goes to the same place. So basically, I'm saying that I think there's a good chance that 80 to 90% of these stores in a mall are all owned by the same entity, which all bleeds into whatever backs up the governments around the world that backs up the Fed. It basically all bleeds into the same thing. Um, Coach, okay, I'm showing Coach here. I guarantee if you go on Wikipedia, it'll talk about a backstory and an individual entrepreneur, and here's Barberry, whatever that is. And if you go on Wikipedia, it'll talk about the entrepreneurism and how all these businesses were started by somebody, or at least was inherited. I'm saying it's like a front, a false front. I get the sense, and I'm saying this is a microcosm for reality itself. All right, here's showing Louis Vuitton. Just this is a better example. I'm going to keep showing the mall here, but I don't know, 10 or 12 years ago, Leslie Stahl doing a CBS 60 Minutes interview, or one of these experts on these Chinese ghost cities, and they're in this city that's built for 5 million people, and there's like 3,000 residents. And they're going through this giant mall, and there's no stores, of course, operating. Everything is an empty shell. It's the same as what you're looking at now, but no stores. But there's the Apple. Above store number one is the Apple logo. Above store number two is the Nike logo. Above store number three is another major retailer, Banana Republic. So Leslie Stahl says to whoever's taking her around the ghost city, oh, all these China has a deal. If they can get a populace here in this ghost city, all of these retailers are eventually going to move in. And the guy's like, no, no, they don't. They just stole the logo and they just plastered it up there to make it look like these retailers are going to move right in. They're not going to move right in. But as I'm watching this, Zara, hey Zara, there's my cat. I thought, what's the difference? You have an empty mall in China with just logos plastered up, and then you have this. It's probably the same thing. Yeah, there's really a store you can go here in the US and buy something, unlike the Chinese ghost cities. I'm not saying all of China doesn't have shopping, the ghost cities, but it probably goes back to the same place. And if I look, obviously I could be maybe I've gone too far about this, but I still would say then maybe half of them all trace back to the same corporate entity. And you could probably follow that back, all of it. You could probably somebody screaming at me, I can hear you. Yeah, you could follow all of it back to the Rothschilds and the families, and of course, that's why they present the Aeropostale is showing. I'm sure, Matt, go to Wikipedia and it'll tell you who started Aeropostale and the entrepreneurs that got it together. And I don't care what Wikipedia says. I'm just replaying it here. I don't care what it says. I don't buy it. So the point is, you can apply this if there's anything that is correct about what I'm saying about this mall. I'm going to go the whole way and apply it to reality itself. So before we get into this, I'm going to again, I'll tell you when would be a good time to watch this music video. But let me just give you another example here. Well, using the Delta Heavy Ghost, let me talk a little bit about the music video. Okay, it's not time to watch it yet. I will leave a link, but give me a few more minutes. I want to talk about this video, Delta Heavy Ghost, and give you a few examples. Now, half of you are probably going, "Yeah, Matt, I can see this. We don't really need more convincing. We've done this long enough. All the YouTube videos we've created and watched over the years was really to convince ourselves that something was going on, and each and every time said to ourselves we weren't going far enough, and the final outcome was far stranger and creepier. So let's not make the same mistake. Let's go all the way. Why should it take 5 years to get to a place that we can get to right now?" So let me just, but the other half are going, wait a second, the entire reality is engineered from the outside. That's the craziest horse shit I've ever heard. So I don't know, just for the fun of it, let me present a case to those people. So um, again, guys, please don't watch the video just yet. Just give me a few more minutes. I'm going to give two examples here. I've been fixating on this video since James sent it to me a few days ago because the video, when you watch it, it screams out that the entire reality is rigged, even more so than we ever even could have imagined. And that's saying something. I had to bounce in here real quick and add something because I'm using kind of a new terminology when I'm talking about rigged from the outside. What exactly does that mean? I'm not sure. But for now, it just means what I've said a million times. It just that from the inside, rigged from the inside would be secret meetings at Davos and secret meetings at Bilderberg, where men and women get together and exchange ideas and plan and plot, and conversations in back rooms and long cherrywood tables and Jared serving, and that's just things we understand. It's all that's the way that it loves when the truthers run around and it's just all the secret societies, because that they just the reality itself loves that. It just, you can't pin it on any bad guy that could pull up a chair to a table here. It's obviously, we've seen years ago, it's beyond what plotting and planning can do. It's beyond that times a million. So plan from the outside, working through the minions that pull chairs out and sit down at cherrywood tables. This is what I mean by from the outside. So a little bit about the video here. Remember Microsoft 25 years ago or whenever it was, they had a little paper clip that offered assistance to you in Windows. Well, in the video, I can't play it, guys. I cannot play it. He becomes, maybe it's a she, but he becomes obsolete, but then he somehow gains a tremendous amount of power and starts inserting himself into reality as the video goes on, into news headlines, into reality itself, into the internet. So he was once obsolete, somehow during the course of this video gains power. But then it's kind of like a trip through memory lane of all the crap they presented us with on the internet. Now here's example number one. We all know who this is. I forgot the name, but actually in researching the name, it helps support all the crazy things I'm saying. Okay, Susan Boyle, this famous singer. I don't know, if she have Down syndrome or something. I don't know. There's some sort of backstory like that. It doesn't matter. And I know who it is. We all know who it is just looking at it. Like, oh, I've seen this presented to me artificially by the screen. I'm saying everything is engineered at this point, and I don't think it's possible to go too far anymore. So again, I didn't know where she came from. So what I searched, you can't see it. It's just, let me just show you. I searched here at the top. It says, I typed into Google, famous singer on the British American Idol. I don't know. I figured they had a British American Idol. Why won't it go on here? I thought they had a British American Idol. And it was actually, it's a Britain's Got Talent. So I type in something completely wrong. But the reality knew exactly what I was looking for. Famous singer on the British American Idol. That's pretty bad. I don't even have the name of the show right. And then it's just, out of all the people that possibly could be famous, there's not only one famous one over 15 years. They see, it doesn't even give me a list of search results. Google was so sure what I was looking for. And maybe, if anybody's screaming out from their bathtub, Matt, this is where the AI that exists here is actually tapping into your thoughts, and why advertisements come for you on your computer, as Irwin would say, before you even talk openly about it. It's not just listening to you, it's tapping into your thoughts. And maybe, but we're not going to go there in this video. It's certainly possible. Those creepy things are going on. But Susan Boyle, Scottish singer, she came on Britain's Got Talent. So look, guys, this isn't even a search result. This is where you just ask Google, when did the Civil War begin? It just shows you the answer. It just gives it to you without even a search result. So I thought this was pretty telling. Not that this put me over the top in terms of figuring out the entire reality is engineered, and this is nothing new for me. I'm just going much farther. I'm just saying it, basically everything is. So it started with the strange notion when you just walk through a mall, like everything's probably owned by the same corporate entity that all ties back to the same bankers, and that means, Matt, everything. If you follow, if is a river an individual river, or is it all part of a water system on what we call Earth? So if you can keep going and tie everything together. There's no individual river, if you want to chase it far enough, that's going to be not in some way touching the Pacific Ocean. If you see what I'm saying, it all will go back to the same place. That's probably what we're dealing with reality itself. So James sends me over this music video, and as the paperclip gains power, and just showing everything that was been presented through the internet. It goes through all this stuff, and all these screens flash for just 1 or 2 more minutes, and I'll say go over and check it out. Charlie bit my finger. To us, to anybody, even most people in this community, just how do you fake that, Matt? It just went viral. It went viral. How do you? The little kid was in on it, and he bit the kid's finger. It was all engineered, and maybe the reality needed, it was a real video, but it needed it was exactly the right time to make a child's video go viral. And it's probably had thousands to choose from. And it chose this one. And it's not good enough on its own to go world famous. And I'm saying the reality itself does this. I'm not saying a group of minions at the Rand Corporation sat around and said, let's take this Charlie bit my finger thing viral. And yeah, that's, like in Armageddon, the movie Armageddon, call everybody at NASA, wake up 11,000 people. Let's just get on this. And the minions know, the minions start doing it. The minions start making Charlie bit my finger the most popular thing of all time without even understanding how they're serving the reality itself. And it could be a minion at Entertainment Tonight showing it to you, or the guy down your cul-de-sac. But we're not connected to it somehow. I don't think we'd be like zombies propagating Charlie bit my finger, which is what the reality wanted, doing its bidding. I don't think we do that anymore. I really don't. So then it showed Susan Boyle, and then all the emojis that came up, and everything seems so natural and so organic. And all the emojis here are going into. There's this Delta Heavy group. They have some heavy themes. All right, this is you know, you talk about truth drops and stuff. There's something going. I haven't looked at a lot of their stuff, but I think James would agree. There's something going on with this Delta Heavy. Let's just leave it at that. So all these emojis are going into the apple with the bite, of course, reference back to Genesis 1, although recently got a was told that there's no apple isn't mentioned in Genesis 1, just fruit, but we see it, of course. The apple symbolism is typically what's used to present Genesis 1, and all of the emojis are going in. And it's a tough topic to discuss, guys. So if somebody's crying out saying, well, what are you saying? Like somebody just didn't create the emoji and then it was like really cool and fun, and then other computer companies and software companies camped onto it and then presented it on your PC, and it was just, see, that gives like an organic or natural explanation as to where all this stuff in pop culture came from. Here he's put in the trash can along with Ask Jeeves. And no, no, I'm saying in some way it was engineered by the reality itself, not by men and women sitting around in back rooms. Okay, we're beyond that. We're beyond that. And why is the emoji so important? Well, it uses millions and tens of millions of different things to distract. It's not like it's the whole reality to take a human being off its natural path. It's all the whole reality based everything it ever did off the emoji and the poop emoji. It's just one of millions of things at its disposal, but it's artificial. It didn't just nothing came up naturally, is what I'm saying. And maybe I'm going too far. Or he's lost it now, maybe. But then this video shows you all the bullcrap that the internet presented. A Candy Crush game, and the paperclip pops in to all the different history of what the internet, the solitaire game that, and the screensaver of the pipes that just grow and grow and grow. And anybody in understanding the world just says, just some computer programmer came up with a really interesting way to do a screensaver to save your screen when your screens would get burned in, and it was these pipes that grew. And I'm saying, and maybe I'm going too far, but I'm saying, yeah, there was a guy or girl that did this, but serving the reality itself somehow without even being aware of it. I don't think anything is organic or natural. If you're in Neo's Matrix, then if we are in it, then it makes sense. So this life cycle of this paperclip, he goes from being obsolete. He's shown all the things that the internet and computers presented us very, very quickly in this fast-moving techno type video, Candy Crush game, and all these cat videos, and even cats, guys. I mean, there's something related to reality itself going on. I know it's getting strange, but whatever. Who am I? Why hold back? I mean, you know, I don't think there's any much I can say that would shock you at this point, and we're all kind of outcasts anyway. So why hold anything back? Even when I grew up, um, let me explain this, and then I'll ask you to watch the music video. But I started this, so I have to explain this. When I grew up, somebody down the way had a cat. A couple cats here and there. But how did it? It's artificial. Like, how did it evolve into all this stuff about cats? And I can't find the part of the video where there's just showing all the cat videos that were presented. Maybe it's coming up here, but no. I mean, and then all these pet food stores where you go in, it's just racks and racks of gourmet foods. And Matt has got four rescues in the house, and I didn't care for animals at all. Um, and it's like, well, how did it? It's almost like there's all these shelters for cats, and you know what I mean? Like there's all these furls out there, and I think I've asked Greg. I said, "You remember all these furls running around as a kid?" He's like, "No." Like, well, why? They'd be able to breed then as well as now. It's almost like a symptom of reality itself. And maybe the cat thing isn't a good example, but I'll relate. Alex Jones. When I used to watch the Alex Jones show, 2013, 14, 15, whatever, he presented some weird theory about the cat parasite. And it was just about the time I was watching Pam's Cooper and Gouda getting Bell and starting to feel like I had to care for these cats. I'm like, well, this isn't me. Where's this coming from? So Alex Jones talking about the cat parrot, and I'm not, guys, you know my feeling on Alex Jones, of course. A controlled animal farm. We all went through that farm, or at least most of us did, obviously working for the system itself. And he's, saying there's some parasite in cat pee where if you inhale it, you then like love cats and you have to take care of them or something. And as weird as that sound, I went like, well, I'll listen because like where did my love for cats that I have to take care of these things and make these things such a big part of my life? Like where did this come from? And somebody crying out will say, well, that's fulfilling a need, Matt. You don't have a wife or maybe, but there's too much of this cat stuff. Anyway, I'm just saying nothing is organic, guys. It all comes engineered from outside or whatever is responsible or stands behind the screen itself. So I guess if you could check out the video now, and you'll see what I mean. And then I'll pause here for 10 seconds, and then I'll come back and finish this video. Okay, if you've seen the video, let me just show you some things because I've been over it so many times. Remember the paperclip that used to pop up and ask for assistance, and it says 20 years later. And yeah, what happened to reality itself in the last 20 years? Something went on steroids times a million. It shows this game, maybe Quake or one of these games that became obsolete. And again, guys, the theory is everything is engineered. Everything we've been presented, everything we've been shown. I really believe this at this point. And if I've gone too far, I will keep that on the table if I've gone too far, and I'll back up from it. I'm capable of being an adult and saying, "Hey, I made a mistake." I'll back up from it. I don't feel like I will, but I certainly will be big enough if I have gone too far. Usually doesn't work that way. Usually we can't go far enough. So the paperclip is just he's obsolete. He's hanged in this reality or this world of obsolete things. And actually, one of the things shown in this world of the obsolete, kind of like the Isle of Misfit Toys in Rudolph, they show the Statue of Liberty here quickly of all that is obsolete, certainly. And certainly, the paperclip is hung and he's just obsolete. But then there's the AOL symbol. I'm always using the same age, I know, but anybody under age 35 does not know AOL or understand AOL. Probably under 40 does it. And you had to access the internet through this portal called America Online, and you'd boot up, and it would your dial-up modem. You couldn't take a phone call. It would just people. We forget this, right? It would just be busy. Somebody would try to call you. You're on the internet. It would be, beep, beep. Oh, he's on the internet for hours. You couldn't call in. If you didn't have call waiting. I guess it was like I didn't have call waiting in the first days of the internet. My phone would be busy. So you'd access this portal that would help you get on the internet. And then for an email, it would say, you got mail. And it was like exciting to get mail and all the crap we started sending around to each other per the wishes of the engineered reality. So there's other, other stuff here. And okay, let's just go through this kind of quickly. All the obsolete crap. But why, of all the obsolete crap, this there's an astronaut in the back here. Oh, by the way, I saw the Jeff, I saw the Bezos. I'll talk about it at the end for a few minutes. It was an absolute joke. It could have been him that got out, but there nothing happened. I mean, so the thing went up a 100,000 feet. Like, who cares? It's not. It doesn't have to be deep fake. He might have actually gone up in the thing. There was almost no risk. He didn't go in to space. I mean, it was a joke. Anyway, so the astronaut here is shown with a jetpack. That fly around. Like, we never got that. So let's just continue here. Why does it show this? Why is Mandela shown? He's part of the obsolete, or that what never was part of the. I hear you screaming at me. I'm aware. I can't. I don't know what I can say here before I get blocked. The backstory on all of these people, I don't buy. Of course, who are you talking to here? Of course, I don't buy it. But the fish here, this is an emperor angelfish, and that's when I was going back and forth with James on this. I was trying to. He didn't really reply to me on this. I don't think he thought that was that significant. But this is an emperor angelfish that is like one of the only things here that seems to be like 3D. Everything else is like 2D. But the fish, it makes a weird gesture, and when is the paperclip climbs onto the pile of obsolete, of which the Mona Lisa is here. He's just saying, well, he's no longer hanging, but he'll just go on this pile of obsolete here in this land of obsolete, like the Isle of Misfit Toys, climbs up, and he's going to wait his fate out. But a portal opens in this beam, and to me, and that's what throws him into the presentation of the internet that once was. The fish makes a really weird gesture right before the portal opens. I don't think it's a coincidence. I don't think it's a coincidence the fish is called an emperor angelfish, but I don't think that the paperclip was hung. I don't think he had the self to create a portal and go back in time. I'd attribute that to the emperor angelfish, but it happens quickly and it's really not a big deal. So it's right at this part. The fish kind of shakes its head, the portal opens, whatever. Don't worry about it. So then there he goes down the portal, um, and everything. Look at all books are obsolete. But he's now escaping this somehow. And the first thing he experiences the old screensavers, the pipes that just make endless pipe to save your screen. I don't even think any of this is necessary anymore. Probably the way the screen is designed. But then he just goes down memory lane. I don't know, solitaire. Then you get into all this stuff that was presented to all of us over the last 20 years. Different types of screensavers, Twitter, Candy Crush, and it happens very, very fast, and lots of things are shown. Here's the part, the cat videos. If I could just back up one, the cats start popping up everywhere, and again, there's the rainbow flag, that presentation, but I'm watching this going, yeah, I mean, it just screams at you that all that you thought was organic or just went viral because something was cute and one person sent it to the first, it's not, it's all orchestrated, it's all artificial and engineered. And I'm almost there. It's not like this is some huge revelation where I'm seeing this. If you would have shown me this a few days ago, I'd be like, no, everything that went viral on the internet happened naturally. Would I say that? No, but I'm just going farther than I ever gone. I'm not. I'm saying it's all engineered, almost every bit of it. I mean, and I say almost just because I don't want to seem ignorant. Like all this stuff we were presented, and Ron Jeremy and that creep, and I mean all this stuff, all of these different things on the internet, and eventually, like a lot of things, he's thrown in the trash can with Ask Jeeves and the Lycos. There was a search engine for anybody under age 40 called Lycos the dog, and it was before Google, and you used Lycos and you used web crawler and weird stuff like that. And then, the Google Messiah, Google was presented like a Messiah when it came. And, of course, it rendered everything obsolete, all by design. Most people, I don't, like, don't, man, we see that. You don't have to spend time on it. We do have to spend time with the first grade truthers. I mean, you don't know who's here. It's so when Google pushed aside all those other search engines, There's nothing natural about that. It's not because Google had a better product and they had a better mousetrap and it was all engineered, every bit of it. What companies rose to this, the most obvious example is Facebook. I mean, it's such a joke how Friendster and MySpace and all those other ones were taken out so artificially to support Facebook because that was the platform that the masters of the universe chose. There's no competition, there's nothing to do with competition. I don't know what's being said here, guys. I mean, the Apple, the Genesis 1 reference, all the emojis are going in to the Apple. The Apple here is rotten. The bite is still out of it. There seems to be a bite on the bottom. It's connected up to plugs. I don't know what's being said here. Who cares, right? Who cares? I like the little poop emoji is carrying the paperclip. And then there's a key part in the video where the paperclip is still pretty powerless. He was thrown in the trash can. He's catching rides with the poop emoji. But then he takes the power back. All right. Now I don't know what's being said here. We'll look at your comments. This is very interesting. You're still being shown all of this stuff. Charlie bit my finger. All the crap we were presented, and they can only show so much. It's a short, techno type music video song. So this is represents Siri. This is voice activated assistance, where at this point he's still the obsolete paperclip assistant from just Microsoft. So this represents Siri and just saying, Siri, show me Indian restaurants within 2 miles, and it'll, give all the bullcrap back. Siri is still pretty useless. It just never ceases to amaze me how many times Pam tries to use this thing and it fails. And it's dumbed down on purpose. Of course, it could tell you anything you want to know, and it's just, to me, Siri is dumbed down on purpose so people don't think that that's the best technology can do. It's like the way Star Wars graphics are dumbed down on purpose when they can fake everything with hyper realism today. You say, oh, Star Wars graphics, that's the best they can do because it's Star Wars. No, it's not. They want you to think that, or you think that subconsciously. So anyway, he somehow he gains power in this scene, the paperclip. See, again, he's the old assistant. This is the new assistant. It's not Siri, but it's supposed to be Siri. So then he gets all these different components of the internet to attack it. Like the arrows, the pointers start attacking it. Arrows flying like birds and start attacking the voice activated. And at the same time, you're seeing all this stuff that the hand that had a mouth in it or whatever all the stuff that the internet reality presented us over the last 20 some years, all the bull crap, all the stuff that went viral that we thought was natural, that's not natural. So here, all these arrows come in and start spearing the Siri, and then somehow, again, that translates into the ultimate power for the paperclip. He starts inserting himself into reality. Of course, there's the internet. There's the emperor angelfish back. Okay, that seems to be where he's deriving. Excuse me, my mouse has a piece of fuzz on it. I think that will be better. He's deriving his power from this emperor angelfish, the kingmaker, probably. The kingmaker of reality itself. Come on, hold on. Come on, is it going to work? Yeah. All right, this is the kingmaker. It says what's going to go viral in this reality. It says what companies will succeed. It says Facebook and Zuckerberg will succeed and Friendster will go away. It's not natural competition. It says. So I don't think it's a coincidence that the Emperor Angelfish shows back up here. I think that's the kingmaker, or whatever person or thing in the police lineup you want to point at, an AI, a Rothschild, whatever. That's what I think the Emperor Angelfish represents. But then once the Siri's beaten down, then the paperclip starts inserting himself into reality. So the kingmaker here, the Emperor Angelfish, it's like, okay, this time is Siri. I say that it's over. This thing didn't come into being all powerful on its own. A damn paperclip. That's the video started by it hanging itself, completely obsolete. So it didn't take its power. It was granted power because it's an element of the reality and of the internet world, of the internet reality. It was granted by this Emperor Angelfish. So everything that here's a stock trading app, and the paperclip. Here's somebody looking at oh, is it looks like Princess Diana. One of these pictures they would take like Princess Diana on the beach by the paparazzi, and the paperclip just pops in. The paperclip is showing up everywhere. There's a doctor showing a fracture X-ray to a patient, the paperclip pops up. He's everywhere. Paperclip shows up in a crop circle. Um, we need to talk about crop circles, although the way I would like to talk about them, it's kind of a conversation assuming the reality is kind of real, and it's not. So it really is. Crop circles, as amazing as that story is, it is irrelevant at this point. If you kind of get to the final, open the final door and kind of believe we're in some matrix of some kind. So it says Large Hadron Collider begins curling metal, all related to the paperclip. Everything related to the. Well, I know CERN, Mandela effect. What do you think I've been doing the last 10 years? I know we're not gonna stray. Here's a boy band, and then all showing the paperclip, like did that picture exist? But now it exists in a new way with this is a fake boy band, of course, but now the paperclip's in it. It's kind of like, well, did it insert itself back through a fake reality? North Korea hacked. I mean, this is obvious. There's the paperclip up here. I mean, one of the key areas about 5 years ago where it was a huge light that went off for me, where I said, this reality is way, 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 way faker than any of us, even in this community, could have imagined, was the North Korean presentation. It hit me, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. There's no real dictator there. It's an actor. It's just an absolute joke. There's no threat to the world there. And then once you see that 5 or 6 years ago, whatever, oh, but wait, did you just maybe that the gematria flows through everything. It's flowing through me right now. The 5 and the 6, the 11. I don't know. It's just what I felt like I had to say. Matt, see, you're not impervious to having to being used like an NPC. Maybe not. Maybe we have to. Maybe we all have more armor to put up. I don't know. It seems like 5 or 6 years ago. If I dropped an 11, I didn't mean to. Move on. But you think, oh, Matt's a little bit paranoid about that, a little sensitive about that stuff. I am sensitive. I was made to be sensitive about that stuff, both through the comments about wearing the wrong T-shirt over the years. But anyway, so you see that this is not a real threat to the world. This is a joke. And then you think, wait a second, if it was really, we weren't where we were 5 years ago. Okay, we weren't where we are now. When you have this sort of epiphany, you go, oh my goodness. Then we should put 5 years ago. We should have gone, well, then let's not make the mistake. Let's go all the way. So why did it take 5 years to get to where we need to get to now? We never go far enough. Let's just get there. Let's not make the same mistake. Paper clips. He's inserting itself into not just internet reality, but all of reality, and it ends with the paperclip in some way being associated with maybe Jeff Bezos's hot water heater blast off today. I don't know how the paperclip is. So you just see the paperclip. I guess it blends in to that image of the rocket, which is, I mean, it's just a huge, obvious truth drop that you can see the rocket. The rocket is as real as the paperclip. Same thing. So, excuse me, guys, I have to cough. Okay, so this is a very interesting video, and as you watch it, a few times, you'll just get the sense that it just screams at you that everything has been rigged. So let's talk about Jeff Bezos, and guys, it could be, if I had to guess, I would say they didn't put the CEO of Amazon, or he didn't take that risk. It still blasts off and goes up, but they can deep fake anything, of course. I don't think he really went up, but because there's still things that could have gone wrong. But it is possible. There is like a 1 out of 5 chance he did go up because there's almost no risk to it. It's not a space mission. First of all, there hasn't been any space missions, but there's no real risk. It's just a hot water heater that went up. They say 350,000 feet. It probably went up. It's amazing they didn't say 330,000 feet. It probably went up to 120,000 feet. That's double what say a 747 can fly. The camera never really loses sight of it. And then the top part separates and comes down with parachutes. It's just like a glorified Six Flag ride from, the Ventura Six Flags above Los Angeles had Superman the Escape. It probably it's like a Six Flags ride for billionaires. It's probably not that 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 dangerous. If they told Bezos there's a 1 in 1,000 chance something could go wrong, if anything does go wrong, we'll separate the top section. It's like Star Trek Enterprise separating the saucer section from the battle bridge. It's the top part pops off and it comes down very gently with three parachutes, a technology that's existed in the fake space program since the late 50s. So it's possible he did do it because again, it's very little risk, but I don't think he did. There's still, if you're sitting on even a Homer Hickam rocket can go bad in the backyard. If you're sitting on, some sort of liquid fuel, of course, I don't think he really did it. Again, don't misinterpret what I'm saying or take it out of context. 4 out of 5 dentists surveyed, he didn't go, but 1 out of 5, uh, you know, dentists that don't recommend Trident, he went. But whatever, it doesn't matter because nothing happened. He didn't do anything special. He went twice as far up as a 747 can fly. Well, so what? And then with the presentation of it, I watched it live on through the CNN. Was such a joke. People are all excited about it, and I mean, it it's so you're getting excited about something where this was the testing. I mean, assuming anything for the purpose of this, and let me just wrap it up, guys. Assuming any part of Mercury, Gemini, or Apollo were real, and of course, I don't think anybody goes anywhere. Assuming any part of that was real, then he's just doing what they were testing in the early 60s. 60s. It's 60 years ago. So, I mean, it would be like, remember the first phones? The first phones, didn't you have to crank them? Like, it would be like with your right arm, you crank it around and you pick up and you say, operator, connect me to Timbuktu or whatever. It'd be like Jeff Bezos in his personal time created a telephone. And here he's going to make the first call. He's the first private CEO to dabble in the telephone industry. And then he picks up this headset and he cranks it. Like, what? Uh, Alexander Graham Bell did that in the 1800s. It ain't no big deal. It ain't nothing. So it's a joke. And per the reality and the download that people take, your cousin will be excited about what Jeff Bezos just did. Your uncles will be excited. Your father and mother and your kids will be excited. And all the NPCs around you will be very impressed by what Jeff Bezos just did in his Bradford White hot water heater. At least the thing is back down now so somebody can get their hot water back. Thanks for listening.